The news day continues here on One News Now. I'm Riza Diaz. With 2020 just around the corner, Filipinos continue to buy certain goods to help attract luck in the coming year. To give us the latest, JC Cosico joins us over the phone from Divisoria. JC, good morning. Can you give us the situation there?
These last-minute shoppers continue to flock here in Divisoria to buy around fruit and other items which they say will bring them luck for New Year. But some won't be able to complete the tradition of having 12 fruits on the table for Medianoche. That's because prices of fruits have increased hours before we welcome 2022. Fruit prices now range from 30 to 280 pesos depending on the kind and amount of fruit you'll buy. However, vendors say their sales are better this year compared to 2020. That's on the back of eased quarantine restrictions. But they might lower prices of fruits as the new year nears. The public is also advised to buy goods as early as possible as some shops will close early for the new year. Meanwhile, we also saw some vendors of polka dot design clothes. The items are being sold for 50 to 100 pesos depending on the design. Riza.
Thank you, JC, and Happy New Year. That's JC Cosico reporting live from Manila. Now, let's check in now to or with the rest of the world as how they're preparing to welcome 2020. In New York City, organizers illuminated and set up the New Year's Eve Times Square ball several times on Thursday to make sure it's working. On Friday night, the ball is scheduled to be lowered down during the 2022 countdown. It contains 32,000 lights and more than 2,500 crystals. Despite the rising COVID-19 cases in the city, Mayor Bill de Blasio says New York City will ring in 2022 in Times Square as planned to show the city is fighting its way through the pandemic. Brazil's Copacabana beach was packed with tourists this week. City officials will allow a massive fireworks display that was canceled last year because of the pandemic. The event is expected to draw thousands to the beach to celebrate the start of 2022. Meanwhile, Peruvians on Thursday flocked to the annual Fair of the Wishes. That's where they try to boost their chances of attaining their dreams in the new year. Since 1999, the fair has brought the mystic traditions of Peru's indigenous people to the capital. Fairgoers had their fortunes read by Andean shamans or participated in cleansing and other rituals to improve their chances of success. We'll be back with more stories after the break. Keep it here on One News. You're still watching One News Now. I'm Riza Diaz. The PCIJ review showed that only a quarter of senatorial candidates in 2019 declared their campaign spending on social media. In the 2019 elections, only 16 out of the 62 candidates for senator declared social media related spending in their statements of election contributions and expenditures. This, according to the PCIJ, underscores the difficulty of monitoring campaign spending on the internet. Former Senator Bam Aquino, who lost in 2019, was the top social media spender with 6.6 million pesos. Aquino was followed by Senator Bongo, who spent 5.5 million pesos, and the human rights lawyer Chel Diokno, who spent 3.4 million pesos for their social media campaigns. Aquino and Diokno, along with two other defeated candidates, former Senator Juan Ponce Enrile and former Bayan Muna Representative Nery Colmenares, spent more than winning candidates Cayetano, Marcos, and Binay. Now, under the law, candidates are required to submit their COCEs or SOCEs containing all incurred campaign expenses 30 days after the elections. Around 300 passengers are stranded at the Port of Manila after 3 crew members of one ship test positive for COVID-19. In an interview with Radio 5, Philippine Ports Authority General Manager Jay Santiago said that the crew members are now under quarantine. Others who tested negative were allowed to travel along with the cargo. Meanwhile, the shipping company has promised the stranded passengers to sail through another ship by this weekend after providing some of them with transportation allowance and accommodation.
Nagkaroon tayo ng konting aberya dahil nagkaroon po ng suspension, ano? Yun pong isang shipping line mula Manila papunta pong Cebu at Cagayan de Oro dahil meron po silang 3 tripulanteng nag-positive po sa COVID-19. So, hindi na po pinayagang sumakay po yung ibang mga pasahero doon. Ang kulang-kulang 300.
Now, as 2021 comes to an end, let's take a look back at this year's biggest dramas and triumphs in the world of showbiz. MJ Marfori with the report.
2021 is the year of the online detectives, aka the Marites. Major breakups, dream weddings, and baby reveal dominated the local showbiz industry. Who would forget the viral PAOLO CONTIS and Yen Santos getaway in Baguio as a friend? This came shortly after his controversial split with LJ Reyes after 6 years and 1 child together. Another trending is ALJUR ABRENICA's Tell Them Who Cheated First post, referring to now estranged wife Kylie Padilla, with whom he shares 2 sons. From heartaches to happy endings, just to announce her engagement to former DILG Secretary Mel Sarmiento. Meanwhile, Derek Ramsey and Ellen Adarna went straight to the aisle after less than a year of dating and exchanging I-dos. It can be recalled that Ellen got busted during her guesting in 1PH, where she was caught doing her live in Derek's house. But the stalking skills of the Marites had no match for McCoy De Leon and Elise Hosson's baby reveal. Meanwhile, Filipinos have gone global in the music scene this year. Topping the list are Olivia Rodrigo, rapper Saweetie, and Oscar and Grammy winner Her. And of course, SB19 was the first P-pop band that was nominated at the Billboard Music Awards and the first act to dethrone K-pop juggernaut BTS on Billboard's Hot Trending Songs. For News 5, MJ Marfori, BR1 News.
Look at some of today's headlines. Metro Manila is now under moderate risk as daily COVID-19 cases continue to increase. The so-called Poblacion girl admits skipping quarantine to party with friends in Makati. And Manila Zoo will soon open to the general public. The city government plans to waive the entrance fee throughout January. And those are the top stories of the hour. Join us later again at 2 in the afternoon as we continue to monitor the day's biggest stories. You can also catch One News on Signal Play app. Register for a free account now at www.signalplay.com and stream One News live anytime, anywhere. I'm Riza Diaz. Mask on, wash hands, and stay safe, Philippines. We are One News.